How's it going, guys? It's Jared Gelbert from the Dapper Den, Ridgefield, Connecticut again, and today we have one of my employees, TJ. So on the comment section, I've noticed that some of you guys are asking for us to cut each other. Hopefully not literally, but haircut wise. So today we have the shop apprentice, TJ. He's been with us for a couple months now, and he's gonna get tortured by me. Yeah. The last time we cut his hair, we pretty much did I believe it was like a number 2.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like real low fade, maybe about a 1 mid fade to a 2, somewhat of an undercut on each side, and then blended it a little bit on the top back area here by the crown. The reason why we're doing that was his hair was very short, and he eventually wants to grow out a full undercut, but we're kind of doing an in-between type of cut. So it doesn't look crazy, and this is a good way of pretty much slowly changing into a different hairstyle from what you're used to. We're also going to be shaping up that beard of his, and we'll get started. With my Wall Senior, my 2-clip disinfected. I'm going to take my comb out of my barber side.
Why do you have to acknowledge that it's disinfected? Was it infected before?
Apprentice. Apprentice, you tell me
No,
why
cut that out.
I acknowledge
Cut
that.
that out.
Because we're cleanly. You would like to keep cleanly while cutting, before and after cutting, and we don't want any bad reviews. Okay, thank you. TJ already has somewhat of an undercut that I started last time. I'm going to go back into that with the 2-clip here, where it's going to be drastic on the sides. And like I said, I kind of do have separation back here, but then I kind of chop into it. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side now. Okay, the camera's not following me, so I'll just follow the camera. So this is the undercut line that I'm establishing. Now I'm going back here so it doesn't look crazy. You kind of see like this area right here was left a little bit longer last time. I could potentially, fully undercut this, but it's going to look like a bowl. So what I think I'm going to do for now, I'm going to hit this 2 area back here lightly, and then I'm going to texturize into the top until that grows in. Pretty much what I'm doing is I'm probably going to fade down and then fade back up. So I'm starting with my 2-clip. I established my top fade line, which is actually my undercut line. And you can see in this area, we left that choppy because I don't want to really do a drastic line. What I'm going to be doing now is cutting my fade line with a 1. Now, like I've said in the past, and everybody jokes around, this does not have to be perfect, meaning that I'm going back into this to make it better once I fade it out. So right now, I like to clear off as much hair as I can for my levels to be where they need to be, and I could go back in and see what I have to do. Some people go perfectly around. Everybody cuts differently. In this situation, I like to use a brush over a comb, just because of my history. I learned that, it just helps it lay down better. Okay, so, like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect. I'm staying here with the temple. I'm going around. Now, I went from closed to open because this is a little less than my 2-clip that I started with. Now I'm going in different directions to catch all those hairs. His hair texture is a little thicker and curlier, So I'm using different techniques to make that work for me. Okay, so now I'm jumping over, and obviously, like I said, I like to go back and forth to my Babyliss Pro liner, which I'm gonna start another fade line, which will be my back temple. Excuse me. Let's try that one more time. My back taper line, and we're gonna do a temple line. So what I'm technically doing here, by the time I'm done, he's gonna have a skin taper to a 1 to a 2. Now I'm gonna go back in with my wall senior, and I'm hitting that 2, that 1 to 2 right here. So I'm going from closed on the 1 Speedo guide to open. That's gonna give me more of my fade right here around the temple. So what I'm doing right here with the seeing off is I'm hitting his head, I'm hitting the line, and then I'm pulling off. So it might look like I'm bringing it up high, but I'm not. Now this is the part that I steal TJ's clipper because mine is dying.
Well, mine sounds so much better.
I know, right? It's so much newer, kid. This is the Magic Clip by Wall. The reason why we use this a lot compared to the other Wall clipper is that this one is a regular tooth. This one has a jagged tooth in there. So what happens is it kind of doesn't cut things perfectly like a scissor. It cuts it like jagged and angled, more of a texturizing when you're doing the fade. So it's really 1,000 times easier to fade out those lines with this compared to just using something with a regular tooth. I do find using this sometimes that if you go down and you zero gap it, it does pull on the skin a little bit. So I'm always, not closed completely. I'll kick it open a notch so it doesn't hurt the client. So this is kind of, I don't know what we were going for the last time. I kept saying Peaky Blinders. Everybody keeps using the word Peaky Blinders.
Like a skin fade undercut.
Yeah, it's a skin fade undercut. I mean, however you want to look at it. I mean, it's very popular right now. I truthfully just found out what Peaky Blinders was last year. But pretty cool cuts. Great hats. So now I'm going back in with a different one clip all the way open, which is a little less than the other ones that I was using. I like to go back and forth between manufacturers. Each one has a different setting and level, so it helps me fade out what I need to fade out. I don't know, I never really found clips that go up in the numbers to work. Maybe it's my technique that's not working properly, but I mean, Walls clips do work very well, obviously, with the walls. When I was using Andis, I feel these clips were better on the Andis than even the magnetic ones. The magnetic one has a lot of play. The downfall with these generic clips is they're metal here and it gets worn out and the teeth break very easily. So you go through these puppies real quick. So I'm going to pretty much just take a couple steps to see what it looks like from a distance, if there's some heavy spots. Now we're going to be using the Pro Foil, just hitting this bottom area here, clean up all that. Now I'm really just tapping, pulling off. Do a little circular motion to get some of those hairs off. Now I'm going to switch over to this Babyliss. And instead of scraping, I'm gonna go flush on his hair and his skin and kind of just scrape off and see off with this one. This one I have 0 gapped, so it should be a little tighter. Like I was saying before, sometimes when I 0 gap things, I do notice that it pulls on the skin. We don't want that. So I've been noticing that I've used these for different techniques. And it tends to work better for myself and my client, where he's not irritated with the haircut. Yeah. So hopefully you guys will be seeing a little more of TJ coming up on some Beardbrand videos. He's been with us
4 months.
too long,
Right,
yes.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
4 months.
Excellent.
He's actually the 3rd ever Barber Apprentice in the state of Connecticut, which I am running the program with the state. So hopefully you got some good, cool things from a professional apprentice and hopefully a professional master barber down the line to see what he has to offer to haircutting and the product community. That's enough about him. Back to me. We filming? Okay, so today I'm going to switch over to the shark fins. What I was talking about before, why I'm switching back from different manufacturers. These are really close compared to my other ones. So it's just going to clean up a little bit and texturize all these little hairs. People might be like, it's pointless. I personally like it. Also, this area here that we were going to leave a little heavier so it doesn't just look like a straight up bowl cut, I'm going to texturize into that with the shark fin. So like I said, he's going to be growing this out now. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop a little bit of the dead end, kid. The dead ends off and the Zohans off. The Zohan, kid. We're going to make this silky smooth. We're going to cut some of these dead ends off. And like I said, with the really tight teeth on the shark fin, I'm just chopping through a little bit. It's really not taking off as much as my other shears would. So it's just adding that little bit of texture that I really want. Right back here, you see how I kind of like blended this as a fade, but then I'm kind of fading right here, but then there's a hard line. There's a reason for that. I mean, I don't know if I'm necessarily starting my own style, but it will look good in the grow out. And that's the thing. We see a lot of people come in and they want a haircut, but it's not ready. And you know, you could just take this and bowl cut anybody's head and ask for the money, but your name is on the product. You kind of want to come with a happy medium in there.
Ending.
The happy ending. You want to get a happy ending out of this.
You think they'll leave that?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Here you go.
Now I'm just going to lightly go around his ears here. Clean up any of those little hairs that I did not fade and taper out. I somewhat give a nice little line around here because of my taper, and I'll lead into there down bottom. So I'm pretty much cleaning around the front taper to the back taper. So now what I'm doing, this is a Remington, all different companies make this. My little cheater, it's just really small profile that I could get in over here around the ears. And that helps me with a good line, especially when we were talking about he has irritation with the razor maybe, or whatever the situation is with his skin. So I want to try to not irritate it any more than I have. So now what I'm doing is I'm just blending this area in here a little bit. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be straightening his beard a little bit, trimming around the edges, and we're just going to line it up a little bit. Now, what are we thinking with your beard? What would you like to shape up? What would you like to leave natural?
First time I've grown this long. What I'm noticing right now, it's about 6 months going in.
Okay.
It's starting to go this way.
Right.
I want it to just grow thick, long, down, but I don't know if I can do that.
Right.
So I don't know. I want to clean this up. because it hits the ear.
Right, that's bother in the ear area. So what we're gonna do is let's
But
straighten
as far as this, I'm not sure what to do.
let's
with
straighten it. I'll clean up the bottom and the side, and then we'll take it from there and see where you need to be.
Those are interceptors.
Am I burning your face off?
No.
But I will tell you that I throw some Beardbrand in here, and the comb goes right through.
Yep.
So nice.
It's a good like conditioner as well. Softens my hair up. I mean, now that you've been working here, obviously you're using the Beardbrand, but fantastic product. It feels more comfortable on my face to have mine straightened than all like curled and
Oh, see, that feels so much easier
and
to
that's
deal
where
with.
the grooming comes into play as well. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is I'm just gonna tap in. I'm tapping and I'm pulling toward the ear. I'm tapping and I'm pulling toward the ear. I'm tapping and I'm pulling toward the ear. Now that kind of just squared off this whole back end. I'm not going any more in than his jawline. That's his natural line, because as soon as I go up his jaw, it automatically connects to his upper ear. Now, what are you doing with your mustache? Are you going to be leaving the lip line?
George trimmed it for me the other day.
Yes.
So yeah, we're gonna keep trimming that.
Keep trimming. I think his girlfriend is looking at me right now.
She wants, yeah.
She wants it clean around the lip line. Yeah. I know a lot of females, they get irritated. Yeah. You can have the craziest beard, just clean your lip line.
You know who likes the Beardbrand more than me?
Your girl? Yeah. There you go. If you're a man and you want to talk to your wife or your girlfriend, you can kind of recommend Beardbrand for a nice holiday gift. Or you could come to the Dapper Den and you could buy it here. Thank you.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil, kid. This guy's my employee of the month.
Oh my God, I think it got my eye.
Cut! What are you doing? You know that's the worst thing to do. Because
dude, my clients do that.
It's weird when they're like, I'm like, what are you doing, dude? You're disorienting your lip, and then you come out with like one thin side, one curved off side, and you're like,
dude, that happened to me today.
Just stay natural. Just like, don't blow kisses. Just close your mouth, though. I don't need to see what's in there. Close your mouth. All right, so now I'm gonna go back to my shark fins. He is growing it out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna thin down these corners.
You sound like you're introducing yourself to like a song.
And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have TJ. So I'm coming on an angle, and I'm just getting the dead ends off as well, thinning the shears, using the shark thin thinning shears. So I'm just going a little bit underneath the jawline here. I see the irritation as well down here. So we're going to work around that. Now we're just going to be doing a little bit of the shaving gel. I don't know what accent that was. The French shaving gel. So I'm stretching the skin, giving TJ a little bit of a line here because it's a little light in that area. Oh my God. Can you go like that for me? Now the positive feature about TJ's hair texture is it is very coarse, but then when it softens up, it is very soft. That's due to the hot towel and also using the proper shaving gel. TJ was actually a shop client before he worked here. So I try to give him the same amount of treatment I did when he was paying. Doesn't always work out that way, does it?
Do I get reimbursed for that?
Yeah. So what I'm doing right now is pretty much called a dry shave. It's the same thing I just did, but there's really no shaving gel or cream on there, so you can really see the line more. Some people, you'll go on Instagram and they'll say like ash line or other terms of this. Pretty much what it's doing is it's scraping off the first layer of the dead skin and giving it a nice line around the beard where you could really see where you shaved. Now you don't want to do it too much because obviously it will be irritating, but I really like to do it because it gives a really sharp line. So obviously TJ's a fan of the Temple smoke because it was at his station. You obviously know the smell. The thing that I like about this, it smells amazing. You really don't have to use too much. I'm going to use a chunk on here because we're going to use this on the hair and the beard, which is
Every morning.
which is great. Now I'm just going to rub it in my hands, warm it up, mess this in his hair nicely. So I'm pretty much going through his whole head, making sure it's all in there. Whatever's left over, I could use in my beard. So how are we feeling?
Good.
Coming to work on time tomorrow?
I feel dapper.
You feel dapper?
At the Dapper Den.
Thank you guys.
Well, fellas, this is goodbye. Possibly, perhaps. Not really going to show up on this channel anymore. I'm over on Beardbrand Alliance. That's where all of our grooming and self-improvement videos are going. If you dig those videos, head on over there. Otherwise, just stick around and watch more barbershop videos.